I'm still feeling a bit apathetic towards Supernatural. I didn't feel engaged or excited by this episode. I know some people are happy Gabriel is back and I'm happy for them, but mostly I have questions like how the hell is he back? Is this Gabriel from another universe and he slipped into this one when Kaya made a rip in reality? If that's the case, I can buy it. Maybe he even came into this world with the rip that happened from Jack being born. However, if he is our Gabriel, what kind of bullshit are they going to try to pull here to make that true? Chuck said that our Gabriel was dead and it takes a lot of time and resources for him to rebuild an archangel, but Asmodeus, a vastly weaker being, just found a spell somewhere and recreated Gabriel. Please, please don't have that be true, show. That would just be so fucking dumb. Anyway, other things also add to my apathy, and that's Ketch. I just could not care less about this character. I don't even really understand why he's working for Asmodeus, because last season he took care of all the ugly jobs for the men of letters that he thought needed to be done for the sake of preserving and protecting the human race. True, he also enjoyed killing, but he was loyal to his organization. Yes, the men of letters are after him now, but I thought he shared some of their ideology, which does involve protecting people from monsters. Guess not. Does Ketch believe in or care about anything besides himself? I don't think he does, which is why he's pretty boring to me. And I gotta say, Asmodeus is just painfully uninteresting. He's like Abaddon, another character who I wasn't a huge fan of. Asmodeus is just crush, kill, destroy. He has no long-term plan besides taking over Hell Pinky, and he wants it because he wants it. A southern accent does not make you interesting. I really don't care that much about Donatello either. I think that might be because he has the great misfortune of mostly being written by Buck Lemming, and it's hard to form a connection to him because he hasn't had great writers to write him. I'm also getting sick of Lucifer constantly being written as a petulant and or sassy child. Yes, I understand that this is a huge part of his characterization, and he was like this in season 5 too, but he also used to be really goddamn scary. I guess you can never go home again where Lucifer can never be the season 5 Lucifer again. It's such a cliche to say that the show should have ended in season 5, but oh god. Lucifer now is just Kripke's reheated leftovers. He's not the scariest, most dangerous, has this devastating master plan. He's gonna end the world. Oh my fucking god. Everything and everyone might die for real. Big bad he was in season 5. Now he's pettier and smaller, and he's still that little kid looking to break his dad's favorite toys, but he doesn't have that large and in charge badassery anymore. I know they're trying to get that back with the angels bowing down to him, but I just didn't feel the gravitas in that moment that I think I should have, and that has to do with how Lucifer has been written. But is it just me? Do you guys thought that that moment was like really cool and really great and you felt like, oh my god, Lucifer is back? Because I didn't. Maybe I'm just a cynical asshole. I don't know. Question that's not really related to anything. Do Cupids match people now because they want to, or is there still people who Heaven wants to see get together? Like in the past, that was Cupid's jobs. Heaven had an order for them to put a couple together and they did. I know that's not super important, but it does relate to other questions like who's running Heaven now and does anyone at all have any sort of master plan. There were things that I liked about this episode, honestly. I, of course, like that Dean was so worried about Cass. As brief as the scenes were, the show is being really clear now that Castiel's well being is super important to Dean this season, where in the past, Dean just never worried this much. Again, whether this will add up to anything or this is just Dean worrying more for worrying's sake is up in the air. We'll see if anything else comes of this. I also did love all the subtle team free will moments, like their banter is really solid and how they communicate so much by just looks. Now they have whole conversations without words and they're a unit and it's not just Sam and Dean anymore. And I of course have to say that Cass knocking Ketch out was just perfect. It was so just so great. It's like, yeah, just shut that asshole up, please. I have never watched any of Daniel Ackles' other work because I don't follow the careers of actors and their families. And the only thing I know about One Tree Hill is that one stupid scene with the dog eating the human heart that was played on the soup a bunch of times. So I have no idea what kind of actress she was prior to this, but she seems to be a pretty good one, and her and Mark had a very believable chemistry. I didn't understand at first why an angel would want money because they don't need money, but Anael makes sense as a character. It's not about the money itself. She wants power because on earth, money is power, and she never had any in heaven, but she's always been ambitious. She also had no real loyalty to anyone before because no one earned it until Lucifer, because he's for now keeping his side of the deal they made. Even with her, though, I have some questions that taint my enjoyment of this episode. Like, Angel's grace doesn't get recharged, right? It's in each angel, and when someone takes some of it out, that grace doesn't come back somehow. But the writing in this episode really seemed to imply that. I just assume that this is Buck Lemming crap because they have played fast and loose with canon more than once. I mean, in season 11, they changed it to make it so that Lucifer was the older son and Michael was the younger, when previously that was not true. It was the other way around. So I ignore that. Michael is still the older brother, Lucifer is still the younger. Buck Lemming just don't care about the canon of the show, so screw them. Another thing that annoyed me about this episode was Anael and Lucifer's conversation about emotions. Angels have emotions. That's been really well established in the show, and it's not just Castiel who's capable of or who has emotions. And I'm really kind of sick of the show harping on this idea that angels are emotionless, made of stone, ruthless soldiers, because that's been shown over and over and over again not to be true with various angels. Like, remember, I think it was in season 10, there was that angel couple in the woods. It was a guy and a girl who wanted to live free of heaven by themselves in the woods together. So, yeah, there have been tons of angels who have demonstrated powerful emotions. So, yeah, telling one thing and showing the other. I just want the show to stop doing this. I guess it also has to be pointed out that Anael is sort of like Ruby, with Lucifer feeding on her grace like Sam fed on Ruby's blood. I wonder if this was decided before Daniel was cast, if they had her in mind for the part the whole time, or if it's just a coincidence, because I'd like to know. Did you guys like this episode better than I did? I'm hoping next episode will be good because I don't want to be this bored and bitchy about Supernatural, but at this point I am. Maybe you all have more positive things to say. Sayonara and auf Wiedersehen.